Welcome to a heightened activation of how we feel in the 3D realm, coming from a place of love. Ishala diala madui, ishala diale maduile. Hello and welcome. My name's Chloe. I work with card divination, astrology, and I channel energies through my body, as you can hear and as you can see. These are multi-dimensional energies to help bring healing, attunement, and activation codes to the messages that come through. We've got this Taurus new moon that's happening on the 7th or 8th of May, depending on where you live, ruled by Venus, the goddess of love. For those of you who know your time of birth and know your natal chart, I recommend you check out the sign that falls in the first house. This is called your rising sign, where your ascendant is. I will be reading for all the signs as if they're the rising sign, so the astrology will link in closest to this. However, it does not invalidate you looking at any other part of your chart. Perhaps where your sun, moon, and Venus are. The sun and moon are getting activated, and obviously this is a new moon ruled by Venus. So just look to whatever sign it is in your natal chart. Look to the house that it's in, the themes of that house, and you want to apply those themes as well as all the meaning you've got going on in that sign to the messages that come through. It will be as if that sign has now moved to the first house. So the astrology for the rising sign will still link in. You just got to add on a little bit of natal chart meaning on top of it. Right, I am reading for Aries in this reading. Aries rising. How you doing, Aries? So I cut the deck and I got before starting this reading, got the 9 of Pentacles, which has been showing up a fair amount. A Page of Wands in reverse with the 10 of Pentacles. And this feels like an elevation of your Aries energy, moving beyond the page and accessing a new level of maturity around how you bring things into the world, that you're seeing manifestations in the 3D realm. That's an alignment with more of a longer term energy, right, rather than the immediacy of the page. Okay, so for those of you, I read the signs for the rising signs. However, for those of you who don't have Aries in the first house, which is the rising sign, look to the house that it does fall in. Look to the themes of that house, and whatever you've got going on in that in the sign of Aries for you in your natal chart, and you want to apply all of that meaning to the messages that come through. It's as if that Aries energy has now moved to the first house. So the astrology for the rising sign will still link in. You just got to add on a little bit of natal chart meaning on top of it. New viewers who didn't quite catch the introduction, I channel multi-dimensional energies through my body, both in the form of physical and vocal light language. This is bringing in attunement, healing, and activation codes with the messages that come through. So whether you are consciously aware of what's going on, this is an alignment with source and your higher self. Okay, so wherever Aries falls in your chart, Taurus is next door. Right, this is called inverted energy. It's not a traditional aspect, and arguably there's a little bit of difficulty here. I don't personally see it myself, but in terms of traditional astrology, I work with the Hellenistic principles from over 2,000 years ago. There is an argument for it. However, I like to poke holes in things. I use that as my foundation, but then I see how it shows up, and then I like to apply it. I happen to have Aries in my 9th house, so I'm fiercely independent about how I understand and perceive the world around me. I want to experience it for myself. Right. So inverted energy. So Taurus is fixed earth and yin in nature, and Aries, you are cardinal fire and yang in nature. So we've got 6 different energies trying to figure each other out. And so it's not, it is not the smoothest sailing of energies, because there's a lot of discombobulation because there's lots of different energies who don't traditionally have things in common. The way that I like to describe the inverted energy is, imagine you're sitting next to somebody, but you're both facing forwards. You don't have that clarity of that line of sight, but all your spidey senses, all your subtle energetic fields are going. They know that you're sitting next to someone. You know you're sitting next to somebody. And it's through osmosis, it's through these energetic fields that this information flows between one another. So it's more of a subtle energy. And I don't say that in terms of a diminishing of power in any way, shape or form. But it's like it's on the sort of more quantum field, on the atomic level of change happening, which might creep up on you, and you're like, oh wait a minute, I feel differently about something, but you haven't necessarily had to act on it so strongly. So I'm pulling cards for 3 different, so that's wherever Aries falls in your chart. You've got this sort of behind the scenes stuff going on, so I'm pulling cards for there it is, that 9 of Pentacles. It's been showing up for everybody. Queen of Pentacles. Cut the deck and get Venus. That's jokes. Right, so I'm pulling cards for 3 different piles. The first pile is the lead up to this new moon. And so this is from the Taurus full moon last year. Sorry, I just sort of wrapped up that Scorpio reading, full moon reading, because I had a lot going on with all the big energy showing up for the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction last week. Right, so everything over the last 6 months, what have you been integrating? What have you been working on since that Taurus full moon? And then how your energy is showing up that's then going to be working with this new moon. And that's pile 2, is the energy download that you're going to receive at the time of the new moon. I see lunations as portals for energy downloads and activation codes. And this is the tarot for this is going to be the frequency of the energy that you're then working with that's going to unfold over the next 6 months. So the energy of how you're working with pile 2, so pile 2, as I said, is the energy frequency. The baseline for pile 2 is always the collective reading, and this is where I get to break down the astrology in way more detail of the exact moment of any transit. And this forms a harmonic blueprint, and I get to talk more, I get to expand more on the meanings of the planets and how they're talking to one another. And this forms this narrative, this energetic field that's imprinted into us. Also did a collective tarot reading and channeled messages come through, and overall, like, just expanding on what this energy is about. So if you want a deeper understanding of this full moon, new moon, can't even blame it on Mercury retrograde anymore, new moon in Taurus, go check out the collective reading to give you a deeper understanding of what's going on in pile 2, because that's how it's influencing pile 2. The tarot is how it's influencing the Aries area of your chart. Pile 3 is how all this energy is manifesting moving forwards. So Aries rising, where is this happening for you? This new moon in Taurus, well, it's in your 2nd house. This is the house of your resources, your skills and your tools. There's Taurus and Capricorn showing up. Your skills and tools of how you manifest in the world and how you bring in regular income. It's also the things that you value, as well as, most importantly, how you value yourself. And so you've got a new moon here, and this is activating a new cycle based on everything that you've been working on in your entire lifetime, every single time. And this is a great time to plant seeds, to set intentions, because the moon is at her darkest, her most receptive, and this represents the sort of emotional body, our intuition, whether our needs are being met or not, and how do we receive and give nourishment. And so she is very receptive to the light of the sun, to the clarity, the vision, the divine inspiration. So we are conscious self with those intention settings is planting in the unconscious, and then we'll see it unfold through our unconscious actions. That's bringing it all into manifestation. So in the 2nd house, what kind of intentions to set? Well, 1, valuing yourself based on your true love of who you are in this incarnation, in this 3D plane, and really amplifying that energy. Setting intentions around magnifying. Ooh, when did she flip over? Magnifying and accelerating your skills and your tools in order to manifest in this world, as well as how you bring in regular income. Bringing in a sense of dedication and devotion to this area of your chart, as well as the things that you value. Now, so often if we don't value ourselves, what we value can be distorted based on our lack of value, right? We can struggle to access skills and tools in order to manifest because we don't truly believe that we're worth it. I mean, that is just one of the ways that this can show up. Now, so big new moon to set intentions around activating how you bring in your power in your 3D realm. Now, Taurus is ruled... Whoa. Whoa, hello. Sorry, most of the time my eyes are closed, or I'm looking sort of directly up. Well, no, not up. Well, a little above up, while I'm shuffling. So Taurus, ruled by Venus, fixed earth energy, yin in nature. So there's a real sense of connection to your physical senses in the way that you bring things into the world. It's our personal connection to the earth energy. And I do link it into the physical senses of our body, right? Those spidey senses. And there can be a lot of trauma stored in the body. And I talked about this in the collective reading, and how this is really bringing in a huge boost for us to release that stuck energy. And in that process, it's probably going to happen in the lead up to the new moon in the balsamic phase, which we're heading into now. And then with this new moon, a real powerhouse of energy that's activating a real sense of love and wisdom and uniqueness of self. So let's get into the astrology. Okay, so the sun and the moon are there. The moon is exalted in Taurus. That means her energy is raised on high. And so it's a real sense of being able to access through our intuition that our needs are being met, and feeling the joy of smelling the roses. Uranus and Jupiter are in Taurus as well. So Aries, I want to touch very quickly. You had a solar eclipse in your sign. So if you haven't seen that transit, I do recommend it. It's one of the biggest, if not the biggest, lunation of the year. And we've been working up to it for the previous year, as well as the years before. But now we've had some really big portals before this new moon. So that Aries new moon was the last new moon that we had. It's allowing us instinctively to embody our soul in our actions and honor the I am of self, of those around us. And then the Uranus-Jupiter conjunction. And the reason why I'm mentioning them is because they're all tied into this astrologically. Not just because they follow one another in succession, but there's stuff going on that is very much linked into these processes. And Jupiter and Uranus conjoined in this sign of Taurus on the weekend of the 20th to 21st. And that is activating a new 13 to 14 year cycle. So this is one of the biggest conjunctions of the year, let alone probably the decade, to be honest. And so that was activating a elevation of your soul's path and your confidence to be able to walk your talk with it, as well as Jupiter, that's Uranus, Jupiter bringing in more expansion, a sense of generosity around that, an elevation of your wisdom around your connection to your soul path, and bringing in opportunities for manifestation and abundance. And these are close to the sun and the moon at this new moon. And so this is really activating what already got started with that conjunction. And if you think about it around skills and tools, like finding unique new ways of operating your skills and your tools, of valuing yourself, bringing in more opportunities for resources, your own resources, and manifesting in the 3D realm. Then we had the Scorpio full moon, and that helped release some stuck emotional energy within our bodies around paranoia and fear, and then reharness that back into our pure creation energy that is that fixed scorpionic energy, because it rules the sexual organs. So that's really activating the power of our crucible of creation. It's not just about sex, it's about being able to birth things into the world and create, and which is what we're here for. But it helped clear away some stagnant energy in the emotional fixed body. Now we're clearing any blockages and trauma in the physical senses, not our emotional body, not our instinctive actions, fire, or our cognitive understanding. It's the physical body that we're in. That is then allowing those spidey senses to lead us to abundance, to lead us to love. So we've got Jupiter and Uranus, who are this is imprinting into the new moon that will unfold over the next 6 months, elevating that sense of confidence confidence within yourself, of being your unique self, and you're tapping into your unique way of accessing skills and tools and manifesting, bringing in inventive and novel ideas, breaking against convention, and allowing you to walk your path. Overall, this whole vibe is elevating our understanding of love and connection and feeling good in the 3D world. These oracle cards, which I always pull before doing a reading, what was I saying? Oh yeah, these oracle cards, which you're getting a lot of the collective cards show up here, Aries. Which I always pull before doing a transit. This middle path, which is the sort of the activation of the new moon. There's the card of ecstasy, Eros, the dove of peace, and the earth's heart. And it's like so Venus energy of like really elevating our understanding of love. Which is one of the most powerful tools to activate and crunch timelines. And bring in manifestation. Seeing us move away from feeling jealous or separate from what other people may have, and in fact celebrating them because we're celebrating ourselves because we're all connected. So Venus is in her own sign, and so she's in conjunction with the sun and the moon, so she is bringing a deeper sense of your connection and love and appreciation of self. She brings charm, joy, play, harmony, diplomacy. So you're really feeding this very she's in her own realm, like she's really comfortable here, so she's really powerful, and really bringing this ability to connect to your skills, connect to your value, and being your skills and tools being seen by others as very they're in a state of appreciation and value for what it is that you do. And there's an element of charm of how you present that, which could lead to an activation of more resources. Also elevating, bringing in a sense of maturity around how we connect to how we feel in the 3D world, elevating our sense of love, pleasure and joy, because we have a sextile with Saturn to this sun and the moon, which is and it's making me think of, you know, those distorted things that we value, right, that may reinforce our lack of value. This feels like there's a clearing of this big time. Saturn's a very mature energy. It honors cause and effect. It allows us to step into our integrity and commitment to our legacy, and it's bringing the magic of Pisces into reality, right? And you've really been seeing that quite loud and proud. And it's in your 12th house. And your 12th house is your hidden house, your house of mysteries. Regulars, you know, I've been banging on about this for ages. Saturn loves being in the 12th house. You've got a lot of support here. And Saturn, those unconscious spaces of the 12th. And there can be trauma responses and limiting beliefs that bring about anxiety, depression, grief, loss, and isolation. If you are facing any of those, I do feel that whatever's going on is facilitating the expansion of yourself, because this is all connected to that solar eclipse in Aries, which happened in your first house, Aries. Underneath all those trauma responses and limiting beliefs is the magic of your soul. So you're getting a real boost around connecting to that from a place of maturity and a commitment to activating it into your legacy. Now, Saturn is sextiling the sun and the moon, and that is an aspect of Venus. So it's a really easy, free-flowing energy between Saturn and the sun and the moon. And all the themes of Venus apply to the sextile. So a sense of connection, love, appreciation, very creative energy, because these two signs are both yin in nature, but different elements and different modalities. So they've got the root in common, which means they can play with one another because they fundamentally understand each other's nature, because it's coming from a place of yin. Now, so we've got this harmonious aspect between Saturn, who's been basically sort of tidying up your 12th house. He's helping you be more mature in how you connect to any difficulties that you have there, as well as I said, activating the legacy of your magic that is then feeding into your skills and tools. So clearing away distortions around lack of value, that's then really allowing you to embody from the heart space. And Taurus rules the throat, so being able to communicate these these things. Italia delle modufia, from a place of love, from a place of this elevated, mature understanding of what love, pleasure, creativity, and joy in this 3D world truly means to us, and not to take it for granted. Ishale motufiala, itiala do ishana atufiale. Iala mo otuila, ishini alima, itinema otufiali, iala. So that's a really, really powerful activation that we have here. That's in alignment with a longer term cycle, because we've got quite a lot of external planets, Saturn, Jupiter, and Uranus, making aspects to this sun and the moon, which is connecting to longer term cycles here for us. But Venus is influencing this, obviously. So she's really helping you feel good about who you are, right? And how you embody that in your skills and your tools. Again, connecting the dots, bringing in a sense of deep value to what it is that you have to offer in the world. She's squaring Pluto, and Pluto's over in your 11th house of hopes and dreams, friends, groups and alliances, and reaping the benefits from your 10th house, which is your career, life purpose. Pluto, that's in the sign of Aquarius. And so the squares are an aspect of manifestation. There may be elements of conflict that come up, but they are pointing at friction that you can transform into manifestation. And this is reorientating our true universal truth of our innate id power, Pluto, our magnetism, in alignment with Venus, which is allowing to build through love, through the transformative process. So this is bringing into an alignment a frequency around magnetism with friends, groups and alliances, and reaping more benefits from your 10th house, that is activating a strengthening of your resources and your skills and your tools, and the visibility with that, with those friends, groups and alliances, which may see more clients come in, a deeper understanding and connection of your value with others. So there's not much, I mean, there's lots of other stuff that that's in the astrology, but that's all in the collective reading. This is pretty, oh, that's it. The only other little thing that I wanted to mention, it's not so little for you, Aries, because Chiron and Mercury are exactly conjunct one another in your sign. Chiron's been hanging around in your sign for a while, so you've been going through some deep healing and uncovering wounds around the self in order to be transformed by the power of the North Node in your sign. And this is why it's linked into that solar eclipse in Aries. And also the Scorpio full moon, because Venus was conjunct Chiron at the time of that Scorpio moon. And because we've moved from the focusing on the wound. Chiron is the master teacher and also the wounded healer. Sorry, my brain went fried for a second. We're moving away from the wound to the wisdom, as well as activating a level of being the master in how we express things and how we're able to share in form of teaching. And so this is in your first house. This is embodiment of the wisdom of self. Mercury being able to connect the dots, being able to express this and understand what it is that you need to do and say in order to elevate and bring that Chiron energy out into the world. And so this is really just sort of activating through osmosis a more instinctive understanding of not repeating cycles that then bring in deeper wounds. And really liberating your embodiment of self from restrictions around value. Okay, so look to where your sun and your moon are in your natal chart. Look to the houses that they're in and the themes of those houses. You might want to apply, it's very likely that some, if not all of those themes are going to play a role in how this unfolds over the next 6 months. You may also want to bring in those themes into your intentions and your manifestation work around the new moon, and that will add on a personal understanding of this general reading for the sign of Aries. Things that you can do that bring in Venus. The apple is a really significant energy for Venus. I have some of apple blossom from my back garden. I'm very honoured to have moved into a place that has an apple tree, because when you cut an apple in half, it forms the 5 pointed star. which is the 5 retrograde points that Venus makes around the planet in her synodic cycle, right? So very Venusian in energy. Also pomegranates representing fertility and abundance, honey, mint, doing something creative, writing yourself a love letter. You know, get creative, go outside, barefoot on the ground, smell a flower. I've got so many bees hanging out with the apple blossom. It's beautiful to watch. Slow down, get into your body, do some physical movements. Heart activation that is linked into your throat chakra. So you're bringing your heart energy, the power of that through your the way that you communicate. Doing a lot of cleansing work before the new moon, because we're in the balsamic phase where we're again letting go of some of that trauma in order to bring in enough space to activate this energy. So I'm going to go consciously quiet. I'm going to soften my mind. The energies that I work with, they're going to move through me. They're going to move the cards around. They'll do some energy work, and then they'll bring the cards into the 3 piles, and that's when I'll bring the tarot into the astrology. I call you to soften your mind as well. Let all that information settle, and then see what your intuition pops up and tells you while we're doing this bit of channeling. Otofui tene maitale. Shinia. Ela isheni alia diala. Diala. Yala ma. Dishana moduf etini ma etiala. Otuela ishania. Dum ishania ma to. They're moving around the throat chakra. Italima utufiala ishene atanima ela dishati domela yinama utuele eala dishini atinima ela ma dishini ela do iteni Ala, ishinima, shale, ala de tenima, otofieni, ala, ishiniana, otofieni, do, doe, ala, doe shania, doe tene, otofenima. Diala. Dishinima otufala. Oeni. Diala dishinima. Itiana otueni. Dishinima tiniala. Doeala ishini. Itufala, itujenema, di ala di shenima otufieni, ita inema otufa. Okay, so Capricorn card wants to be in 2 places on this pile. Just FYI. Ishalema otufalema itiele. Right, Aries, what's been going on? So this is from the Taurus full moon last year. So the last 6 months of what have you been integrating, what have you been working on, and then how your energy is showing up to work with this new moon. Now the Capricorn card wanted to be here, sort of the midpoint, as well as in what it feels like in your energy moving forwards. And it feels like a shift of how that Capricorn energy shows up, moving from addiction to power. So there's a lot of cards here. We've got the 5 of Swords, the 3 of Pentacles in reverse, the Moon card, the 7 of Cups in reverse with the Queen of Swords. So this is all around skills and tools, resources, manifesting sense of value. And the Capricorn card, I apologize, the Devil card wanted to be here. Now, Capricorn for you is in your 10th house of your life purpose and career. And this is your visibility, your reputation, how the big outside world sees you. And also we've got Ceres there, an asteroid. So I'm going to bring that up very quickly. I talk more about it in the collective reading, which is bringing about a sense of nourishment and nurture and abundance in your 10th house at the moment, right? So that energy is then tied in later on. So we've got the Five of Swords with the Three of Pentacles in reverse. And this is sort of feeling like there's a level... of the Five of Swords is very conflict orientated. It's one of, I think it's the most difficult card in the deck, and because this figure is one, but they've won the Three of Swords, they've won this sense of heartbreak, and this can be mental things, mental ideas of yourself and how you communicate with yourself, limiting beliefs that are imprinted within you around being able to access your value, around being able to connect your skills and your tools and your manifestation. There's a level of conflicting energy here. And it also might feel that you know, it doesn't matter what you do, that other people win. Or you're fighting battles that don't have an impact on you. If we think about the throat and Taurus, of like, there's a sense of, for some reason, there's a blockage around the visibility around your skills and your tools and what it is that you're bringing to the table, because it's come with the Three of Pentacles in reverse. And this is the card of mastery, but also collaboration through this sense of knowing thyself and doing what it is that brings you pleasure and joy in your skills and your tools, of like not necessarily listening to what other people think in a way that is diminishing your inner power. You then draw towards you, because you're very confident in knowing who you are and what you're doing, other frequencies that really appreciate what you do, that are then able to collaborate and build something beautiful and long lasting. And this is in reverse, and there's a sense of, I'm really just getting a real sort of karmic restriction here. That even if you have been building and manifesting over the last 6 months, there is something that's kind of just got the kabuts on it, of like just there's a restriction that doesn't really make any sense. Because it's come with the moon card, which is Pisces. So things going on in the unconscious space, right? Trauma responses, limiting beliefs that have been sort of, there's a sense of illusion. And I don't often read the moon as illusion and sort of the unseen and not knowing what's going on, but I'm getting that so strongly here, that there's simply just been a block that has perhaps been a little bit frustrating over the last 6 months, where things haven't quite manifested in the way that you would like them to. Because it's come also with the Seven of Cups in reverse. And this is about being able to dream and fantasize and go beyond our limitations and explore and have the capacity to be able to do so. And there's a sense of again, a restriction, a limitation in you fully accessing all that is within you. And how that is then supporting you in the 3D realm. Italia. Because it's come with the Devil, and this is about the things that have a restriction over you. There's a level of addiction and there's a heaviness in the material plane, and you know, it genuinely felt like that is what's been coming up that's now being cleared, and this is shifting into your power. That there's something about blockages around the true abundance of your earthly realm, right? Of the life purpose, of the career, which is the 10th house, but there's a link to it coming from your sense of value that it just feels quite deep within. So there may have been things that have come up that sort of highlighted all of this energy in the last 6 months, and or you've just had the time and the energy and the space to like sense it in your physical body, right? With Jupiter being in Taurus, we've really been more in alignment with just feeling our spidey senses of being like, oh, that doesn't feel quite right. What's that all about? And then spending the time working through it. and navigating it. Yeah, there's just a real sense of a heaviness and an illusion that is being shattered. Because it's come with the Queen of Swords as sort of how you've been working with this. And she's been through some difficult times, but her head is now above the clouds. In the sword court cards, they all have birds, and she only has one, but it's right above her crown chakra. And there's this element of channeling through your crown. Like, even if this has happened, there's a sense of objectivity with the swords, of really like being in observant of it, not leading into fear, but acknowledging, okay, there's something going on. I don't necessarily have all of the answers, but my crown is helping give me that mental perspective, even if I don't really understand why. Queens cultivate, they bring nourishment and nurturing. So this is bringing in a frequency of nurturing a new understanding, a new mindset. So your energy that's going to work with this new moon, because I find Jupiter can often, we don't necessarily always see the results of Jupiter being in a sign until it goes into the next sign, when everything starts to come together. And Jupiter has the capacity of bringing up a lot of things from deep within us that have blocked our sense of knowing and faith. So we've got the Queen of Pentacles. We have the Judgment, the Devil. Oh, Devil's wanting to stop. And the Ace of Wands. All right. Okay. They're just wanting to do a little bit of shamanic work here. So this is what I'm getting with the Devil in this regard. This is the energy that you're working with the Fool, is your career and your life purpose, right? So the skills and tools that we have in order to manifest and bring in sort of regular income support our life purpose, and they can be obviously linked into our career and a sense of visibility and reputation. So there is a knock-on effect here. Queen of Pentacles, nurturing this energy, this new moon energy into the 3D world that's going to facilitate bringing about abundance. The Judgment card, this is Pluto in Aquarius, of an elevation, a sense of ascension of your energy that is able to make good judgment about how you are entering into this. It's bringing in an elevation because you've cultivated with that Queen of Swords an element. Okay, right, let's look at how I perceive things. Am I still going to let that affect that Three of Pentacles in the upright of like, you do you. Ace of Wands with the Devil, a renewal of energy, of your fire energy, of your passions, your creativity, with the Devil, which is now, for me, this power of manifestation in the 3D world that's linked into your career and your life purpose. We've got the Tower in reverse over here, and it feels like in the lead up to this moon, it's really going to sort of see the clearing out of things that don't serve you in the long term in the internal space. And then what I feel with the new moon is it's acknowledging it's got the Five of Wands underneath, this sense of inner conflict, perhaps but with this new moon, it's like these have been cleared out and this is what it's bringing in. We've got the Eight of Swords in reverse, Nine of Swords, very different energy shifting here. The Seven of Wands in reverse, the Four of Pentacles, the Nine of Pentacles, lots of cards, King of Swords, Nine of Cups, the Empress, the King of Pentacles, the Hierophant, the Magician, the Fool. So you got some big major arcana cropping up here with this energy. So this is about the fact that you've been observing what is an illusion, what isn't real. Right, nothing's real, by the way, FYI. But this figure thinks that they're trapped, but they're not. That is an illusion. Trapped in a cage of your own making. What were those cards again? Yeah, that Five of Swords, that sense of why is there a disruption here? And navigating through that, because this has come up in reverse, which is saying that this new moon those illusions, those things that have limited you, are falling away. And with the Nine of Swords in reverse, this is the fear, the anxiety, the not being able to create, to not being able to smell the roses, to slow down and actually enjoy your life. This is coming in reverse. So this moon is bringing in a reversal of some very powerful sort of mental blocks. Seven of Wands. For me, this is one of the core archetypes of the human species, of what we're working through right now, because this figure is standing on a cliff. This represents they are on the higher ground. They have something of value. We all do. We are all source. But they look unsteady. They're wearing different shoes. That's going to make their defense mechanism a little bit on the edge. They're in competition mode, right? So this can be about, again, a lack of value of self. Whether it's really loud or not, I just genuinely feel like this is an imprint with us collectively, that we see what other people are doing if they're very similar to what we do, and then we feel like, oh, there's no space for us. And in reverse, this is falling away. This is you like embodying what it is that you do and not worrying about what everybody else is doing. That's the true confidence of self-value. Four of Pentacles. Love this card so much. For me, this card represents a level of protection that is making sure that your internal soul energy is not being distorted by the external world in a way that diminishes your soul's path. And because of that level of lack of distortion, you are then able to create and manifest from a place of power in the 3D realm. Very solid energy, very secure in yourself. And it's backed up by the fact that what follows it is the Nine of Pentacles, who I think has shown up for everyone so far. And this figure knows what they need to do in order to bring long-term manifestation and abundance and joy and pleasure into their lives. They know the decisions that they need to make. They are happy doing the work. They're happy to commit to doing the work because they know how powerful that's going to be in the long term, where she's in very fancy robes here. There's an element of the material gain. It can that can be money. Money's a tool. It is treasure. Hello money. Hello treasure. And we need to move away from shame around that. But overall, this is rather than the conflict is shifted, where there's a confidence within you, right? Venus is bringing that charm. Jupiter's bringing charm, right? That you are uniquely being able to be yourself with Uranus, right? And really elevating that sense of, I got this. And then we've got the King of Swords with the Nine of Cups. Love this combination. So the King of Swords is saying a clarity is coming in, a vision, right? Pluto over in your 11th house. This is the Aquarius card of hopes and dreams, and also how to reap the benefits from your 10th house. So this may be like new ideas coming through to accentuate what's going on with your career. But I'm also getting a sense of how you're seen in your skills and your tools. There's a maturity here, that you have a clarity, that there's a vision. There's not the conflict of the Five of Swords anymore, and you are able to implement it from a place of sovereignty. It's like a very determined energy of like, I've got this, I know what I'm doing, and I'm confident in it. Nine of Cups, feeling internal gratitude. This is the inner space of abundance and gratitude. This figure is so damn confident, right? It is just like, I've got this. I know who I am. I know what I want, and I feel good within my life. I feel good about life. And then it's a very empowering energy that's showing up here for you with Venus, King of Pentacles, right? So they both hold the golden scepter. They are the only two cards that have it. And this represents powerful manifestation in the 3D world. Venus, the Empress, wants you to feel good. Wants there to be fertility, creativity, connection, love, appreciation, and value. The King of Pentacles, again, another sovereign energy, covered in grapes, which represent the harvest. And the Nine of Pentacles has it too, is able with the action, with the sovereignty. It's Taurus energy of like, right, I am bringing in abundance. Itala dishani mo tu fiala. And confident doing so. Itali ma tu ishala. The Hierophant, the Magician, the Fool. Well, the Hierophant is Taurus. This is about knowing yourself. You've gone on there's a level of the journey of connecting to meaning and a sort of spiritual understanding of your own existence. And that can just be finding like really deep meaning of feeling good about this world. There's a level of commitment and authority that comes with the Hierophant. And so this is activating a cycle of you dedicating yourself to your skills and your tools. But I also feel it's part of the longer term journey of it being received by others, because this figure is talking to other people. They are receiving the keys of the wisdom that this person has to offer. And that can be in any manifestation. It doesn't just have to be talking. I have another deck where this card is the Guru card. It's like, be your own guru. Stand in your own power. Understand that you have source within you. Dinah. But there is commitment here. There is a level of, I've got this and I want to apply myself to it and I feel good about it. But tied into Italia, that Pluto square with Venus, of bringing more alignment in with how all of this is received by the external world, friends, groups and alliances, and also really just feeling, you're in your own power. The Magician and the Fool. So the Magician is Mercury. It is about manifestation. It is about you knowing what your skills and your tools and your resources are around you in order to manifest in the world. This is pretty damn powerful, especially as Mercury's over in your sign of the embodiment of it, with Chiron, the master teacher. They're doing a lot of work around the throat chakra, and this is about really being authentic in the way that you communicate. As I said, it doesn't just have to be speaking. It is anything that you do in the way that you create in the world. This is so powerful with the Fool. I'm like starting a journey from a more heart-orientated space, right? The chest is really far forward on the Fool, representing its heart is guiding it forward. It wants to explore this new landscape. It wants to enjoy its own existence and just understand that it's embarking on a new journey away from that conflict, away from that sort of heaviness. What was the other card again? I do apologize. That Three of Pentacles in reverse, all of like the illusion, the stuckness, the not being able to fantasize and dream. The Fool is all open to there's no limitations with the Fool. Also going out into the world, right? And sharing your skills, sharing your tools. How this energy is manifesting moving forward. Well, not only do you have the Magician, but you have the High Priestess, the Four of Wands, the Knight of Cups, and the Ten of Cups. So this is through this cycle of recalibrating and trying things out and exploring and putting things into action. This is instilling a deeper knowing within you, right? This is the Moon's card. And the High Priestess knows she inherently is drawing towards her that which brings about fertility and abundance, represented by the pomegranate. And there's a real knowing, right? There's a confidence here. And so with this process, this is activating a combination of that knowing, and from that knowing comes manifestation. And a heightened intuition around resources. That this is like the next level elevation, that you're then drawing towards you things that are elevating your abundance. Because you've gone through the stages of like, oh, I'm not in conflict anymore. Oh, I know my own value. I'm putting that into practice. This is such a powerful card to come up here. And also because it's the Moon, it's about our needs being met. and our nourishment being met. And this is saying it's going to be Italia doi shalimo doi la di shalimo tu fiala. Also, the High Priestess, people come to her. Itala di animo tufa. And what that feels like in terms of the second house is it of not necessarily solely focusing on seeking out opportunities. Italia dufa, that they're coming to you. Perhaps clients, whatever it is. Itala. Four of Wands. A deep sense of celebration, having put in the work, right? And enjoyed the work, enjoyed the process. This is about a milestone. So for some of you, this might be a pay rise. This might be any kind of a big new client coming in, or the end of a project. But overall, this is collaboration, right? These figures they've got in the harvest. They've worked together and now they're about to go and have a massive feast. Whatever it is a real sense of, I can celebrate, I can feel good. And I'm really proud of what I've done. The Knight of Cups. This is now being more in alignment from a place of love. This is a very intuitive energy. They embody their suit. They embody their element. That there is, this is not the conflict. This is not the restrictions. This is flow of how you move through the world. And it's coming from a place of intuition. It's coming from a place of love. And the imagination of the miracles of the world around us rather than the restrictions and the limitations. So also can see you going out in the world, sharing your wares, right, with others. You feeling very confident in your own value and the love that you feel for yourself. Because it's coming the Ten of Cups. And so this is the externalization of the Nine of Cups, right? This is the only rainbow in the tarot. And I see the rainbow as the chakra body externalized. So when our chakras are in alignment, our energy's in alignment, that means that we see that ripple out in the outside world. So this is saying with that Nine of Cups of the feel-good factor, you're no longer looking at the world in conflict of, am I going to have the resources that I need? Am I going to be okay? That there's going to be a knock-on effect that you're going to see manifest out in your world of the alignment that you have within you. And through your skills, through your tools, through your resources, you're going to be able to start creating and bringing that emotional alignment out in the world. It's the nuclear family. It's a representation of the things external to self that are in alignment. Remember, Pluto's over in your hopes and dreams. For some of you, this may be, I can buy that house. I can pay for my kids' schooling. I found someone through work who I love. Right, itini. Karma, domino effects. Itu, shani, atini. Source, love and light. Ituela. Itile, the Emperor. Hello, Aries. Order, logic, stability, plans. Itu, fianima, dushani, adanima. Iti, the Hermit. Truth, guides, fact, wisdom. So, clearing out, I told you, this stuff felt, clearing that out. And activating a new domino effect around karma that's in alignment with source, love and light. That's about your empowerment of self and you knowing, having the strength of character within you is bringing stability. That is allowing your wisdom to be seen in however your skills and tools manifest. Got new beginnings. Let's see what else wants to come out for my lovely Aries. Itala. Yenima. Itialama. Do ela tishani. Fiale etini atani. Right. Dushina. Tiene. Effort. Domestic harmony. So it's taken effort to work through this energy. Itusha, we've got moderation. That's kind of highlighting maybe you've had to cut back on things. Itala dishane mo tufiala, completion of that moderation energy. Environment, a new environmental frequency that is bringing in a sense of abundance. Italia molto fine, moving into different environments, perhaps where you're more appreciated. Italia dolcini. So that domestic harmony. I feel like with all that conflict energy, and as I cut the deck, I got 5 and change. Italia dolcini. That it's helped you get into a place of self-discipline, and it's a lot of cards, and personal growth that has then, funnily enough, brought a recalibration of self, because you've been like, what the fuck, what's going on? I need to work this out, right? And I need to look inward. The domestic harmony could be, like, for some of you, like not having the resources that you need. There may have been difficulty in the home. Now it's allowing you more flow, more ease in your home life. But overall, I feel like that's a domestic harmony with your skills and your tools and the resources with your sense of value. And that is bringing in more alignment. Right, Aries? I'm going to leave it at that. You got quite a lot of those cards at the end, didn't you? I hope you enjoyed this reading. If it resonated, it would be an honor and a privilege if you hit that like button. It would mean the world to me. It really would. And also, it does help the algorithm. If you want a personal reading, my website is in the description box, as well as on the page on the YouTube channel. I can't remember what that page is called. Could be about this transit, could be about anything. I really like to tailor to the client because I've got a Virgo sun and I like to facilitate. But other than that, Aries, be good to yourself, be good to those around you, and most importantly, be well until we meet again.